Hi, I'm here to show you how to make one of these simple luminaries so you can take part in our upcoming Lanterns of Hope parade that's held each spring to celebrate the blossoming of 1,500 cherry trees here in Howard County. The simple teepee style lantern that we're going to be building today is very easy and is really appropriate for all ages. The materials you're going to need are wooden dowels, approximately 3/8 of an inch in diameter, some rubber bands, very thin, a brush, scissors, some Mod Podge glue, or simply a PVC type glue similar to Elmer's. You will need some twine, and at the end you will need some battery powered luminary tea lights like these. Let's begin by taking a look at the frame that we'll build the lantern on. As you can see, it is constructed of 3 long dowels, 3 medium dowels, and 3 smaller dowels. Let's begin with our wooden dowels. You're going to need 3 of each, varying size. 18-inch, 10-inch, 3 of those, and 4-inch, 3 of those. Those are going to be used to make 2 triangles, and I'll show you that in a minute. But when we're finished, they'll be looking like this. A larger triangle for the base, and a smaller triangle for the top of the structure. Let's start with our 18-inch dowels. The first thing we're going to do is to wrap a rubber band around the top of our longer dowels until it's taut and about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch from the top. These will eventually open up like this to become the sides of our luminary lantern. Next, let's make the larger triangle. Again, using our medium-sized dowels, which are 10 inches, we're going to begin joining them with rubber bands the same way. Then we'll take the third, wrap it the same way. There we have our larger triangle base. And let's do the same thing for our smaller 4-inch dowels to make the smaller top part of the luminary. So now let's take the 3 pieces that we have, put them together to form this base that we're going to build our luminary on. What we want to do is we're going to attach the dowels like this to the lower base, about 1 inch from the bottom. We're just going to hold one of those in place like this. We're going to start wrapping that with the rubber bands. There is no right or wrong way to do this, just so that you get it secure on there. And we repeat that for each of the other 2 joints. Now that we have this part done, let's take the smaller triangle that we made and put it on the top like this to form the top part of the luminary. Again, we're going to use our rubber bands to attach the smaller triangle to the sides of the luminary. So there we have it. That's the base of what our luminary is going to look like. In the next phase of our lantern construction, we're going to be creating the covering that goes over top of the base that we just made. Regular tissue paper is what we use. And we begin by cutting 3 triangles, or similar triangles, kind of like triangles with the tops cut off of them. To get the right size, the easiest thing to do is to take your base, lay it down, using a pencil, trace a rough triangle around the base. You want your triangle to be bigger so that you have room to glue the paper onto the wooden dowels. So as you see, the side is going to look something like this. Now we have our base. We have our 3 sides cut. The next thing we're going to need is a little Mod Podge. We're going to thin the Mod Podge just a little bit with some water. We're going to just use our brush to mix the water and the Mod Podge together until it's thoroughly mixed. I have found that the easiest way to attach my sides is to take a little of the Mod Podge and to put it on all sides of the dowels on one side of the lantern. We take one of our sides and we're going to position that on the wooden dowels, making sure that you have space beyond each wooden dowel. So after I have it so that it's holding, I'm going to want to put a little glue on the back of each of the dowels. That I can take my brush, or your fingers if you like, and start to wrap that paper around the dowel. Now, the one thing I will warn you is that you do not want your tissue to get too wet, because it will tear. If it tears, just start over, or put a patch on it. It'll be fine. We're almost finished, and really this is when the real fun starts, because you can be as creative as you like when you're decorating your lantern. One of the favorite ways that I like to decorate my lanterns, especially with this color combination of like the fuchsia pink and then the darker pink like this, of course, is I like to do blossoms. I have some tissue paper here. I'm going to double it over just so that when I'm cutting, I'm going to be cutting multiple shapes at one time. So I'm going to cut some petals. Wherever you might want to put one of your designs, just put a little bit of Mod Podge, just enough to hold it in place. I'm going to build a flower here. I'm just overlapping the ovals that I cut. It's a very simple flower. I'm going to put a little more Mod Podge on it just to seal it to the background. Another one of my favorite ways to decorate is just torn paper. And you can take the scraps that you have and you can just start tearing pieces. Same principle, just a little bit of Mod Podge where you might want to place them, light touch, and then just start putting them on. Because again, it's a pretty random design. If you mix a different color in here, that really gives you a lot more depth to the design that you're making. We'll do one more idea. Maybe you want to do a central motif, a lot larger, so most of us obviously, I believe, know how to cut a heart. And then you cut the shape of a heart, and then we'll open it up. We'll use that as a center motif. Once our lantern is dry, we're going to hang the light inside. I'm going to use this one here today to show you how we install the light. Again, we use battery-powered key lights. No open flames. It's too dangerous, and we do not want you to use open flames either. If you come to our lantern parade, we'll make sure that you have a key light like this. You want to build your lantern ahead of time, bring it to the parade, and we'll help you light it up. We use our twine. We're going to use approximately, we'll start with a little over a yard. First thing we do is we tie the tea light to the yarn just around the little flame portion. Just a double knot. Then we're going to drop the light into the lantern like that. Position it so that it's about in the middle, hangs in the middle. And we're going to tie it around the top. If you like, you can carry it by the string like this, or if you would like, you can get a longer dowel. Can be a little wider. Doesn't have to be, but it should be a little longer. We're just going to tie that to the end of this dowel. And there you have it. And you can just imagine how beautiful when you have 100, 200, 500, maybe even 1,000. People carrying lanterns of hope, lighting the night, celebrating spring, and the blossoming of Howard County's 1,500 Kwanzaa cherry trees. We really hope you'll join us. Thanks. You can find out all of this online at www.blossomsofhope.com.